It's a brand new day with Mo and News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, the 24th of June, which means we're almost to July, and I feel like this year has been on fast forward max, maybe because of all of the crazy news, or maybe just because that happens when you're getting somewhere older in the general timeline of life. I don't know. Good morning, Nanny Goat and Wicked Wookie. Wolfram, thank you so much for doing mod stuff. Patrick W., good morning. Jesse, or Jedi Jesse, awesome. Love the new name, as long as it's original Star Wars. Good morning, Slinky. And Squab Bob, good morning. So we have all of the crazy news that will make you question why your bingo card is full, and it's only, 6 months in to this year. But a foul-mouthed judge in Georgia was arrested after allegedly pushing a cop in Atlanta outside a nightclub. So perhaps this woman, in addition, we have covered this particular judge. She is or was a probate judge. She did not win the current election, so she will be being taken out of office. But she was a probate judge. She sentenced a woman to a 28-day contempt charge, and her husband a $500 charge because, due to family personal issues, this woman did not know who her biological father was. When she was able to get this information, she wanted to amend her marriage license. And, well, this judge was having none of her shenanigans. There are allegations that her overreaction is because she is not a fan of biracial marriage, and the woman in question that she did fine and arrest for contempt was an Asian woman that married an African American man. Now, I don't know why that means anything, but it seems that she might have a particular issue with that, and that might have colored her decision to do that. But let's get into what she did in the club. A foul-mouthed Georgia probate judge allegedly pushed an Atlanta cop outside a nightclub and then refused to identify herself after she was arrested, according to police and body cam footage. Douglas County Judge Christina Peterson, 38, was cuffed and placed in the back of a cop cruiser early Thursday morning for battery against a police officer. Because nothing says officer of the court like, well, assaulting police officers. Cops says she interfered with a police officer trying to de-escalate a situation where a security guard working at Red Martini Restaurant and Lounge attempted to escort another woman outside, according to 11 Alive News. Quote, let her ducking go. Let her ducking go, Peterson yelled at the guard and police officer, according to the footage released by Atlanta police and obtained by local outlets. Police said the footage then showed Peterson, a Democrat, pushed the officer, who was working an approved extra job, in the chest twice, swipe at his hands during the commotion around 3 a.m., leading to her arrest. Good morning, Squid Pro Quo. The officer took Peterson to the grounds and slapped handcuffs on her as a crowd formed around them, according to the clip. A video presented by Fox 5 Atlanta later cuts into Peterson refusing to identify herself as the officer pleads for her name. "You don't need any identification," she said angrily. "You have picked up dead bodies when you don't know whose body it is, but you picked them up. Take me where you need to take me." Did she go to the Sarah Boone School of Lawful Law? Because I think we might be a little confused about how these things work. "I'm trying to," the cop replied as the two continued to argue. At one point, the judge suggested the officer Google her, to which the cop replied, "What's your name so I can Google you?" Justin Smith, good morning. Uh, you know, maybe Google me, bro, isn't the best way to to start off any police encounter. Sarah Boone, I'm looking at you. Uh, Other parts of the footage showed Peterson at the police station as she complained and cursed about the cop taking her by the arm while they walked. Later, in another police vehicle, she was told the charges against her. Peterson, who was allegedly under the influence during the interaction, per a cop report obtained by Fox 5 Atlanta, is facing simple battery against a police officer and obstruction of a law enforcement officer charges. But Peterson's legal team, in an emotional press conference following the arrest, claimed she was just being a good Samaritan. Well, I mean, I'm sure that's the truth. I'm sure she was out of the goodness of, you know, her heart assaulting police officers for justice. Arrington said she believed she will be totally exonerated in the case and called on all the footage of the incident to be released. Ma'am, I don't think this is going to go the way you think it will, but okay. Love said during the press conference carried by Fox 5 Atlanta, the unidentified man accusing her of cutting him on a food truck line, sparking the disturbance. "He viciously attacked me, punched me in my face, and Judge Peterson was the only one to help me," she said. She also claimed Peterson did not know she was putting her hands on the officer. Peterson, who took office in 2020, was previously found guilty of, quote, "systemic incompetence," end quote, by a judicial panel in April, according to Fox 5 Atlanta. I can't imagine why she didn't win her reelection campaign. I mean, with a judge like this, why do you why do we need a constitution? Obviously, they work for the greater good no matter what. Ma'am, this is just a little bit of advice from your local friendly neighborhood Mo. Um, Gracefully bow out of the public eye for a while. The every single thing that you have done in your judicial tenure has been a dumpster fire. I'm sure that CNN will offer you a position as a legal analyst, but until then, go away. Go work on a commune, go do something else. Maybe try your hand at arts and crafts. It's never too late. A 71-year-old woman makes uh, history as the oldest contestant competing in the uh, Miss Texas USA pageant. A 71-year-old woman made history as the oldest contestant to compete in the Miss Texas USA pageant. Her mother, 91-year-old Irma, is still upset that she's not married at 71. I just added that. Good morning, Miss Flux. I have something I need to give you or send you in the post, but I have been, well, unable to function last week. So I was like, room and, just remaining semi-functional were the top priorities last week, but I will get to the post office this week and get it in the mail to you. Uh, though she did not take home the crown, Marissa Tejeo joined other contestants competing in the pageant this weekend in Houston. Uh, Ariana Ware, last year's Miss Dallas winner, was named Miss Texas USA on Saturday. She will represent Texas at the Miss USA competition. The Miss Universe organization recently changed its rules to become more inclusive by removing age limits for contestants over 18 and allowing women who are married, divorced, or pregnant. Tejeo of El Paso, who said in an Instagram post she was excited to compete and hoped to inspire women to strive to be their best physical, mental self and believe there is beauty at any age. Miss Universe organization has been embroiled in all the controversy since Neolia Voigt announced her resignation on May 6th. Voigt, 24, said in an Instagram statement she was stepping away to focus on her mental health, but days later, NBC News retained a copy of Voigt's resignation letter in which she accused pageant CEO Layla Rose of creating a toxic work environment and failing to address sexual harassment. Good morning, Captain Kern. We have saved most of the crazy for you, so we can start now. Rose released a statement saying she takes allegations seriously and that, quote, the well-being of individuals associated with Miss USA is my top priority. After Voigt relinquished her title, Miss Teen America's Uma Sofia Shrivitsa, 17, also stepped down as did social media manager Claudia Mitchell. Miss USA Savannah Ganeski of Hawaii was crowned the new Miss USA 2023 in place of Voigt and will hold the position until August when a new winner is announced. Stephanie Skinner, Miss Teen USA runner-up, was offered the crown following Uma Sophia's resignation, but she declined to accept it. So there you go. Holy Fazoli. There are things from toddlerhood that I only vaguely remember, and I'm glad I have photos of them because so much shenanigans goes on in toddlerhood with kiddos that it's insane. And it is comforting to know that you are not the only parent who has had to have a 4-hour hostage negotiation, kind of conference with your 4-year-old to make sure that, yes, the blue cup is just the same as the red cup. It is in the dishwasher. You do not want to get bacterial. I am not opening the dishwasher simply so you can get the red cup. No, they're the same daggone thing. They were in the same daggone pack. I'm sorry that water tastes better in the red cup. In good news for this hiker, a California hiker who was missing in Santa Cruz Mountains for 10 days drank a gallon of water out of a boot daily to survive. Y'all, I might have passed away. Boot juice does not, that might be a line I'm not going to cross. A California hiker who was lost for 10 days while exploring the Santa Cruz Mountains drank a gallon of water out of his boot a day before he was finally rescued last week, according to reports. Good morning, Zach. Lucas McKillish, 34, did not even put a shirt on when he began his hike on June 11th that was supposed to last only 3 hours before he quickly couldn't find his way and was reporting missing 6 days later when he didn't show up for Father's Day dinner, ABC 7 Los Angeles reported. I mean, holy, what in the Ted Kaczynski shed / Phil Spector are we looking at here? But then again, he did survive 10 days out in the wild and was willing to drink boot water. So better survival skills than I have. Let's just say that. I left with just a pair of pants, my pair of hiking boots, and a hat. I had a flashlight and a pair of folding scissors, like a Leatherman tool, and that was about it. The Boulder Creek resident told the station on Friday. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. Check out Shizzy if you guys like news with maybe more of a political rant, or not rant, but slant. I mean, he kind of touches on stories. Sometimes I join him that are maybe more spicy than I do for Mornings with Mo. But I love it because it's just a cool vibe and we get together and we sort of stay on topic. I mean, I'm glad he got hugs and stuff. I'm glad everyone's happy, but he does kind of look like the main character from Powder, and that disturbs me greatly because that movie was um I didn't understand the subtext of Powder until I read it older as an adult, and holy fazoli's. This is a terrible, terrible movie. He drank water he found from natural sources to keep going, and lots of it. I just made sure I drank a gallon of water every day, but after getting close to the end of it, my body needed food and some kind of sustenance. He said, per ABC 7 LA. I'd go up a canyon, down a canyon to the next waterfall, sit down by the waterfall, and drink water out of my boot. You have hands. I mean, I'm not trying to be a butt because you saved yourself, but shoe or hands? I I mean, now you've got athlete's throat, and I'm sure that's gonna be terrible to treat. I'm just gonna put a caveat out here. I am not a doctorologist, so, I don't know that you can get athlete's, throat, but yeah, no, not using my boots. The lost hiker, who also reportedly ate wild berries, said he would sleep on wet leaves as he screamed for help. Just help, help, I'm over here, he told the station, or is anyone out there? I want a burrito and a taco bowl. That's what I thought about every day when, after the first 5 days, when I started to kind of realize that I might be in over my head. Well, considering I can really only wear Crocs or Birkenstocks, uh, yeah. uh, McClish told ABC 7 LA he struggled to navigate because certain landmarks were wiped out by recent wildfire fires in Northern California. Multiple agencies scoured the area before he was finally located in Big Basin State Parks Thursday afternoon. There were multiple reports of witnesses hearing someone calling for help, but the location of that person was hard to establish. I can't believe they didn't call 4chan, you know, because if they could find, Shia LaBeouf's "He Will Not Divide Us" flag in every, like, absolutely, uh, crazy city, like, non-populated venue that they found to put this thing, and they could figure it out from contrails, I'm pretty sure they could have done this better. Uh, San Mateo, California Fire Santa Cruz Department said in a social media post, so people heard him screaming, they just couldn't figure out where he was. Uh, he did say that he was a little sore and lost his voice, but otherwise didn't suffer any injuries. He told ABC 7 LA that he was really grateful when he saw all of the boot prints and paw prints on the ground of first responders looking for him. It was just really humbling and, I don't know, an awesome experience. I think so. Well, Justin, they turned Shia LaBeouf into a Shiite Catholic, so that's either a win for religiosity or a loss for Catholicism, and I'm not quite sure how to judge it yet. In an update to a story that we've been kind of following, a family of a South Carolina bride killed on her wedding night was awarded $1.3 million as a settlement. Now, This is a case that I do wanna cover. I might have to second chair, but this woman has the insufferable inability to see anything as her fault, in the vein of Sarah Boone. I mean, just absolutely, this woman takes no responsibility for the loss of a, new wife and the severe injuring of several family members and her husband. So, yeah, she definitely gains all of my powers of petty. A South Carolina judge signed off on a 1.3 million partial settlement in the case of a bride who was killed allegedly by a drunk driver just hours after getting married, according to media reports. Jamie Lee Komorowski, 26, allegedly buried barreled her rental car into a golf cart carrying the victim, Samantha Miller, 34, and her new spouse, Eric Hutchinson. Okay, this part pisses me off, and I know that this is the mom, and I know that she lost a child, and I cannot even imagine the heartbreak of going from seeing your daughter walk down the aisle to having to, identify her body because she was run over by a drunk waste of humanity. But her name was Samantha Hutchinson. Yes, they didn't sign the marriage certificate, but could we at least respect the fact that she had voluntarily gotten married? Uh, so they that was has been a big squabble for the mom that technically they weren't completely married. And I get it. I get this is coming from a pain and a rage so great that I never, ever want to experience it. I've seen what it's done to people around me, and I don't know how she has the strength to get up every morning, but it does seem like a weird thing to fixate on, but I am giving her grace because she has just gone through a hell of a loss. Miller was killed in the collision and Hutchinson was badly injured. Two others riding the cart with Miller and Hutchinson were also injured in the tragic crash. Proceeds from the settlement will go to Miller's estate and the other injured parties, WCSC reported. The bars that served Komorowski prior to the crash and the rental car company she used will be on the hook for the seven-figure award. Hutchinson and his lawyer, Danny Dalton, were in court Tuesday to sign off on the settlement, which will net the parties $863,000 after fees, according to the WCSC. Dalton said the amount was less than anticipated due to an ongoing estate dispute between Hutchinson and the slain bride's mother, Lisa Miller, who has challenged whether the pair were legally married. She has sparred with Hutchinson's camp over how much money she'll receive from the settlement and has asked the court to replace Hutchinson as the representative of the estate. The decedent, Miss Samantha Miller, was killed in a car collision, Dalton said, according to Fox Carolina. Her husband, Mr. Eric Hutchinson, is here with us. He is the proper personal representative for the estate. Komorowski, who was allegedly driving 65 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone, was arrested at the scene and charged with felony driving under the influence resulting in death, reckless homicide, and 2 counts of felony driving under the influence resulting in great bodily injury. She was released on bond in March, and her criminal case is still pending. Komorowski is currently under house arrest as she awaits the continuation of her case. Other defendants have yet to reach an accord with the plaintiffs, including the restaurant where Komorowski was employed at the time of the incident. The force of the impact said the doomed golf cart flying 100 feet, flipping it over several times before it came to a stop. If convicted, Komorowski faces a minimum of 1 year in prison or a maximum of 25 years in prison. Now, I will absolutely explain why I think that Komorowski is a dumpster fire person. We did cover a story about her whining to her dad about how, she would like to plan her own wedding, that, everything is mean in prison, that no one understands what she's going through. And it was so grotesquely tone deaf that I am surprised that the judge allowed the bond with what she said. And she says this on jail calls that will be recorded. In a continuation of another story that we covered last week, the family of Rachel Morin's suspected killer provided evidence linking him through DNA to the gruesome crime scene, documents allege. The family of a man accused of SAing and beating to death a mother of 5 on a Maryland hiking trail provided the evidence that authorities said linked the suspect through DNA to the gruesome crime. Now, I do want to commend this family because I think sometimes we forget that a lot of these criminals, a lot of these people that do these heinous things, while some of them have very tragic backstories, uh, you know, some of them are just in families with good people and they just chose to do wrong. So the fact that this family, helped the victim's family get, an answer to this is commendable because I can't imagine how I would feel if I learned that one of the family members that I love that was, with me during family things, dinners and things like that, had done something this horrible and heinous. I would be shell shocked, I think. And it would be real tempting to want to say, hey, he's my family member. He couldn't have done anything like that. But they helped this other family. And I think that's really commendable. The family of Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez, 23, who faces murder, rape, and assault charges in the August 2023 death of Rachel Morin, 37, turned over a bag of clothes and shoes to investigators on June 13th. DNA from some of the clothing matched DNA recovered from the crime scene, according to the charging document in the case. The evidence was collected after investigators learned the suspect had been staying with his family in Maryland between December 2023 and May 2024 when he left the location, and his belongings never returned, a document for the family stated to the authorities. A tip led authorities to a bar in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Martinez Hernandez was arrested on June 14th. He was transferred to Maryland and is being held without bond at Hartford County Detention Center. He appeared via Zoom for court hearing in Maryland this week and was denied bail. Morin's mother reacted to the latest revelations in the high-profile case. That's really brazen to stay in the state where he committed the crime, she told the network. It amazes me. It also amazes me that his family didn't see the flyers we posted. Morin's boyfriend reported her missing on August 5th, 2023. He told the police that she had gone for a walk on Ma and Pa Heritage Trail in Bel Air earlier that evening and never returned home. Authorities found her car in the trail parking lot and her body the following afternoon in a wooded area near the parking lot, authorities said. There were no signs that she had been beaten, there were signs that she had been beaten and essayed. She was partially naked with her sports bra pulled up, and her shorts were pulled down to her ankles, the charging document said. Hartford County State Attorney Allison Healy said she had also been strangled and had at least 10 to 15 head wounds. CBS Baltimore affiliate WBJ reported genetic material from an unknown man was found in DNA evidence from multiple areas on her body. Investigators said they linked the DNA to a possible relative of the suspect and tracked the family down in Maryland on June 13th when investigators said they got the tip that ultimately led to his arrest. As Law and Crime reported last week, the suspect allegedly killed a woman in El Salvador, attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother in Los Angeles. In cases authorities say they linked the suspect to Morin's murder through DNA. When the police captured him casually sitting at a bar in Tulsa, he initially lied about his identity and lied about any knowledge of the crimes he is wanted for. At a news conference, Harford County Sheriff Jeffrey Gahler minced no words when talking about the accused killer's arrest. Rachel's murderer is no longer a free man, he said. Hopefully, he will never have the opportunity to walk free again. I want him to die in a Maryland prison system. Authorities said he's a citizen of El Salvador who illegally crossed the border into the United States in February 2023. We all suspected that perhaps Rachel was not his first victim, and it's my understanding that this suspect, this monster, fled to the United States illegally after committing a brutal murder of a young woman in El Salvador a month earlier in January 2023, Galler said. Once in the U.S., and likely emboldened by his anonymity, Galler said he attacked a 9-year-old girl and her mother during a home invasion in March 2023 in L.A. More details about the suspect were revealed through his public defender. He has a 3-year-old child and works to support his family. He unalived and assaulted other families, though. I don't care if he has a kiddo. Victor Hernandez did not come here to make a better life for himself or his family, the sheriff said during the announcement of his arrest last week. He came here to escape the crime he committed in El Salvador. He came here and murdered Rachel and, God willing, no one else, but that should never have been allowed to happen. He is set for a court hearing on July 18th in Harford County District Court, so hopefully that'll get it taken care of. It's just absolutely ridiculous that this man was able to have all these victims. In a heartwarming story, because, sometimes after that kind of story, we need a little bit of a good one. A 12-year-old drummer born with no hands receives a life-changing gift from Tennessee Tech engineering students. These days, Tennessee middle school student Aubrey Savvy, 12, who was born with no hands, says she can bang on her snare drum as hard or as fast as she wants. It's all thanks to a generous gift from a group of college engineering students who created a custom pair of 3D printed hands for the budding young musician. The 10 Tennessee Technological University students made this special prosthetics as part of a dynamics of machinery class during the spring semester for Aubrey, who was born and has as a triple congenital amputee. She has no arms below her elbows and has a partially amputated left foot, her mother, Jennifer Savvy, told CNN. The new prosthetics have made a world of difference for Aubrey, who took up drumming over the past school year after being influenced by her older sister, who plays percussion. Before I had them, I was having to put the drumsticks and stuff in my sleeves and just hold them in the crease of my elbows, so it would slip out over time depending on how hard I had to play or how fast, said Aubrey, who lives in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But with these, they will stay stable and intact. Her band director knew of a program at Tennessee Tech called Tech Engineering for Kids and reached out to Stephen Canfield, a mechanical engineering professor who oversees the program. Tech Engineering for Kids, which is run through Canfield's junior level engineering course, involves students working in teams to design a form of custom assistive technology for a child with special needs in the Middle Tennessee region. I have a network of medical professionals, care coordinators, therapists, and the like that work with children with special needs in our region, and they help me identify a child in a family with a need, Canfield told CNN. Then he pairs the child with a student group who will design a type of technology the child needs, fabricate it, test it, and deliver it to the family over the course of a semester, he said. Students have created toys and devices for children with sensory needs, according to Canfield. Aubrey had previously used Hero myoelectrical 3D printed arm, her mother said. She only got one, so it was not really conducive to holding drumsticks. The length difference as Aubrey used the single arm to attempt the playing drums was challenging. She couldn't use the Hero arm for drumming or percussion, Jennifer said. Aubrey's new prosthetics are more versatile, her mother added. The ones she has printed now are for drums and holding drumsticks, but if you But really, if you wanted them to hold a kayak oar or whatever, you could theoretically just print out different tips to put on the same base of the prosthetic, and that's pretty cool. The Tennessee Tech students worked with Aubrey through the semester to ensure that her prosthetic 3D printed arms were a great fit for her. We would send a certain design to Aubrey, then she would say, "Okay, I think this is good, but a little too long. Could it be shortened, or it's a bit hot on my arm? Could you potentially like make it a little more breathable?" Tennessee Tech mechanical engineering senior Zach Henson, who served as co-leader on the project, told CNN. So now we're trying to think through, okay, can we keep the design that we're going for, but adjust it to those new needs? Henson said of the process. The team created about 6 iterations of the prosthetics until they were satisfied with the finished product. Mechanical engineering senior project leader Branson Baylock said, Aubrey said she wasn't certain if the 3D printed hands would work for her, but they wound up being a success. I was really excited I was going to be able to use these and try them out. Aubrey, who wants to be an ultrasound technician when she's older, she added, uh, they're becoming a very useful, resourceful tool to help me with my drumming. And look there, she is still kicking ass and taking names. I love it. Jennifer Savvy said she was aware Aubrey would be born with a limb difference when she was pregnant with her. It was a real scary time, of course, but if I'd only known then what I know now, it would have been a much happier, joyful pregnancy because really she just doesn't let anything stop her or get in the way. Okay, dingus, I love you too. Maybe don't use your claws to climb up me. Uh, Her daughter participated in activities including dance, taekwondo, art, and music, she shared. Groups of students worked closely on the prosthetic measurements and fitting, with the 12-year-old found her to be an inspiration. Watching her do stuff that I just thought for sure there was no way she could handle that. She's just so determined, said Micah Page, a mathematical engineer or mechanical engineering student at Tennessee Tech. She makes it look easy to live life without hands. Custom prosthetics should last Aubrey for the next few years before she outgrows them, Canfield said. So good for this little girl. Good on these students for doing something. Dingus, stop with the I don't know what you did, but you did something now wonderful. Yeah, so this is great. I'm glad that she's, getting a chance to do something she's passionate about, and these students get real world experience working with the things that, yes, I love you. No, I don't have any food on me, dingus. This is in sad news, unfortunately, yes, I love you very much. I'm sorry, was I not paying attention? How dare I use my hands to not pet you, but, move the mouse. Yes, I okay, cuddle whore. Legendary pipeline surfer Tomeo Perry killed in a shark attack. Not the keyboard. A wave of shock and sadness has swept over Hawaii and the surf world at large as news that Tomeo Perry, longtime pipeline specialist, yeah, I love you very much too, died on Sunday, June 23rd. Perry was surfing Goat Island off of Oahu at the time of the attack, and he was 49 years old. Perry, a free surfing standout in the North Shore scene around the new millennium, was a beloved for his ever present smile and casual poise under heaving, terrifying pipeline barrels. The hard charging, goofy footer was a frequent sight in surfing magazines, Surf Flicks, and even made an appearance in the Hollywood 2002 hit uh, Dingus. What in the zoomies is going on with you right now? He's like, I is host. I am the captain now. Thank you, Obscure Destinations, for the dancing pair. Dingus is apparently like, I am the captain now. It is my show. Perry, a free surfing stand. Oh, here we go. In the years following, he became a lifeguard and surf instructor. No, I'm not letting you get on the keyboard. This is not happening. We do not negotiate with furry terroristas. Heck bent on getting on to my keyboard. And per a report from Hawaii News Now, Honolulu EMS officials said they responded to an incident involving a body just before 1 p.m. in the Kahuku area. EMS officials said dispatchers said the man's body appeared to have suffered more than one possible shark bite. Officials say lifeguards brought the man's body ashore via a jet ski, while onshore, EMS paramedics assisted with the death pronouncement. And thank you, Fraudit Wrangler, for gifting 5 memberships. And those went to Obscure Destinations Outdoors, Justin Smith, Flux, Dennis Heaton, and Teresa Hammond. So thank you so much, Fraudit Wrangler, for the support. And you guys, if you could give him a thank you. And I am definitely going to work on doing more member stuff. Last week was sort of just a week of dragging full behind in being a functional human being. For more on Perry and his impact on the surfing world, here's a Matt Warshaw from the Encyclopedia of Surfing. Hard-charging, God-fearing pipeline specialist from Oahu's North Shore, named by Surfing Magazine in 2002 as most likely to get the Barrel of the Year. Perry was born in 1975 and raised on the east side of Oahu and began surfing at the age of 11 and soon became best friends with future pop crooner Jack Johnson, who lived in a beachfront house at Pipeline. Perry was known in his late teenage years as the quiet, up-and-coming local boy who had to borrow surfboards because he had no sponsors. In 1997, the wiry, goofy footer had gone a long way to developing a tube riding style combining traits from Jerry Lopez and Tom Carroll, 2 of his favorite old-school pipeline surfers. Meanwhile, he became a devout born-again Christian, asked by Surf Magazine to name the last 2 books he read. Perry listed the Bible and The End, 50 Reasons Why Jesus Christ could return before the year 2000. God, I miss Y2K's hysteria. You guys have no idea. I saw my parents, the most logical people, in the world, going to different ATMs, pulling out money. And okay, I'm not going to lie, you guys. I was in high school at the time of Y2K, so I was kind of okay with society becoming absolutely, shenanigans. So I never had to go to high school again. I was a bit of an acceleration / anything that will get me out of trigonometry sort of kiddo in high school. Perry has competed selectively with modest success, finishing 4th in the 2000 Pipelines Master Trials and 5th in the Billabong Pro Trials at Teahupo'o. Nevertheless, by 2005, he was generally regarded as Pipeline's single most dominant surfer. Let's see here. Perry has appeared in more than a dozen surf videos, including The Bomb, 1998, Revelation, 2000, All Aboard, 2002, and Loaded Pipe, 2004. Amelia Perry, Tamio's Australian-born wife, is a professional bodyboarder. And thank you, Wolfram, for gifting 5 memberships. And those went to Giggles, Conversations Living Room with RJ, Gil Ritchie, Lady Autumn Sky, Lady Tammy. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you, Wolfram, for supporting the channel. And give them a thank you if you got some memberships. So this is terribly sad. I feel terrible. He seemed like a pretty nice guy. I don't know anything about surfing, so that all sounded like gobbledygook from when I try to watch football and I don't understand why you can't just tackle the guy before he gets the ball, but apparently that's illegal. So, but it sounds like he loved what he was doing and was really good at it, and this is a tragic thing for his family to have to deal with. Zach, Zach, thanks for the 4.99 super chat. It's Mo on day. Here's a little tip for your long day with Baker. Tough job. That's not nice. Zach always coming in and stirring up the issues. Good morning, AC's Wildflower. Uh, in good doggo news or bad doggo news, a Pekingese named Wild Thing wins the world's ugliest dog show. So, you know, I think I have looked exactly like this dog sometimes when I just have to run into Walmart. But, doggos can be ugly cute, and I like that. Longtime runner-up in California World's Ugliest Dog contest has finally gotten his crown. On Friday, fourth time was a charm for Wild Thing, an 8-year-old Pekingese from North Bend, Oregon, who previously placed second in the annual competition 3 times before. Wild Thing is a survivor of distemper, a viral disease that infects the animal's respiratory system and can suppress immune system, according to his bio. He and his owner, Ann Lewis, walked away with $5,000 in prize money. The Soma Marin Fair in Petaluma, California, hosted the world's ugliest dog contest for nearly 50 years, according to the fair's website. This world renowned event celebrates the imperfections that make all dogs special and unique. Dingus, not cords, you freaking weirdo. He has allied with the youngest, most feral, and is now doing young, most feral things. Last year's king was a 7-year-old Chinese crested dog named Scooter. Scooter was born with deformed hind legs and turned over to animal control by a breeder for euthanasia, but fortunately, a member of the shelter, Linda Elmquist, adopted him, and the two live happily in Tucson, Arizona. I'm overjoyed and incredibly proud, Elmquist said last year. Despite all the challenge he has faced, his deformed hind legs, Scooter has defied all the odds and showed us the true meaning of resilience and determination. He's become an inspiration to countless people around the world. So we have his glamour shots. It's the tongue, you guys. It's the tongue. It's like YOLO, I'm here, and this is who I am. um as a semi-fluffy American, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but New York's Fat Beach Day gives plus size people a place to be themselves. Now, um she feels comfortable in her body, and part of me is jealous about that, but part of me is also like, this is not maybe the most flattering suit you could have worn. AC's Wildflower, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Awesome. Uh, Fraudit Wrangler, it sounds like the breeder would not be able to profit from him or make any money, and they handed it over to get euthanized for reasons. I don't know. Again, I could understand if they truly thought that this dog would have no quality of life, that these were unfixable or or insurmountable things, but breeders get a good amount of money for you know, certain type of breeds. So it just doesn't quite follow for me. Uh Fat Beach Day events are springing up across the US in an effort to fight back against fat phobia, reclaim safe spaces for the community, and honor plus size culture. Captain Kern, member for 3 months, and absolutely, as a member of the Fluffy Club, we reject this. Look, as a person who struggles daily with, self-control of what I put in my mouth or getting up to take a walk, I get it. Being in shape is not the easiest thing, and Little Debbie's are good. But but I subscribe to the healthy is not gonna be the same size for everyone, but we can all do a little better to our bodies, not, health at any sign and Tess Holiday is anorexic. I mean, I think there can be a little bit, of a middle ground between, well, you know, everyone can be whatever size they want, and that's totally okay. Free healthcare for everyone, you just have to pay for all my, comorbidities that go along with being obese. And, eh, there's always common sense stuff. Like, look, everyone's healthy size is not gonna be a size 4 or a size 8. That's okay. I don't, you know I don't begrudge anyone who's naturally skinny, except some days when it's just irritating. But, my size, healthy size, is going to always probably be the lowest size I will get to is a size 10 because I've had 6 children, and I'm okay with that. That doesn't stop me from, keeping up with a goal to be a little better each day. But this go ahead and slam those 3 Big Macs with a Diet Coke, you're doing awesome attitude is a little irritating. Let's see. Today, one of the celebrations is being held to coincide with Pride Month at Jacob Riis Beach in New York, a location deeply ensconced in the city's activism space. Quote, "We are going through something culturally that has impacted us every day on an individual level at a systemic level," said Jordan Underwood, the event organizer. "We're trying to be an open space for people to be themselves." Underwood is a plus size model, artist, and activist, described being bullied for their weight as far back as middle school. Consistent hate, cruelty, and harmful rhetoric from students led to them setting up a blog as a 12-year-old, which became a place where they documented their experiences and made sense of what they were going through. In many ways, this has marked the beginning of their journey into what they denote as fact activism. Okay, you can do fact activism uh, while walking. While walking, I just don't get it. I don't get. Look, again, you can be beautiful and be a curvier woman. God made us all a little different. There is a marketplace, there is a man, woman, Zimzer out there that will find you attractive. But you also need to do a little bit of work on yourself. I, you know, it just is what it is. This is reality. You have the ability to make yourself just a little better than the day before, and yet these people are like, "But you can't say anything, and doctors can't say anything to me." And okay, I get it, sort of. Uh, there may be. Let's see here. They now organize events through New York City and work with Berez, a vintage store curated for curves based in Brooklyn, to organize Fat Beach Day. There may be rain, but the pair weren't bothered. The day featuring food, drinks, and free sunscreen from vacation is something they've looked forward to and been planning for months. "I'm so self conscious at the beach. I'm never around people that look like me," said Emma Zach, who started Berries in 2018. "I'm so excited that we created space for folks with bigger bodies to have a good time. In an era where drug loss or weight loss drugs like Ozempic are deeply ingrained into the mainstream diet culture, and thinness is resurgent as a beauty ideal, events like Fat Beach Day are becoming powerful tools okay, okay, settle down, Rosa. Long John, donuts, parks. This is not like someone didn't let you on the bus because 'cause you're fluffy. This is not the same thing. This is the civil rights movement we deserve in the year of 2024, the year of our stupid. But come on, can we at least call a spade at this point? Vogue Business reported that autumn and winter 2024 seasons across fashion weeks and only 0.8% of the models were plus size and 3.7 were mid-size, a notable decline from previous years. Yes, like all things in the early aughts, late 90s, heroin chic is coming back. Now, if we could just, make sure that we continue to keep foundations somewhat matching our facial tones, because I'm not looking forward to this deeply tan until right about here thing coming back. I can't do it, y'all. I didn't do it then, and I won't be doing it now. A survey published by KFF in May found that about 1 in every 8 adults, or more than 15 million people in the US, had used a drug like Ozempic or Mounjaro at some point in their lives, highlighting the extent of this societal shift. In the 2000s, there was this anti-fat intense cultural swing that really parallels what we're going through right now, Underwood said. It's indisputable how insidious the fat phobia was in that decade. Britney Spears and Jessica Simpson, both then a size 6, were plastered all over tabloids, accompanied by headlines like the word fat. For the next few months, like minded communities across the US have planned other Fat Beach Days. Fat Friends Pool Party is taking place in Chicago on July 13th, and there will be Bellies Out Beach Day in Los Angeles in a few weeks. Fat Bodies and Rise are a match made in heaven, said Cleo Alana, one of the people attending the New York event today. Jordan Underwood and Beres have brought heaven to Queens. For decades, Jacob Reese Beach, named after a social former or reformer and photojournalist, has been iconic and popular gathering place for the LGBTQ plus community. Also referred to the beaches or the People's Beach, it has become a cultural and social landmark in the city's history. More broadly, New York has for decades been at the heart of a fat acceptance movement. In 1960s, about 500 protesters held a fat in at Central Park, burning diet books and photographs of the supermodel Twiggy. If anyone has photographs of that particular activistic event, I would love to see them. In recent years, after organized activism, legislation has been passed to prohibit weight discrimination. New York's Mayor Eric Adams signed a bill in 2023 to ban weight discrimination in hiring and housing. Until then, you could be fired in New York for being overweight. Despite this, the stigmas still exist and are at their most pervasive on social media. It's a really shitty time, not just on the internet, but in society to be fat. And it feels really violent in a lot of ways, Zach said. Sir, sir, again, you are not like, Malcolm X or the Million Man March or the Million Pound March. This is not the civil rights hill you think it is. Again, I understand that would be difficult taking personal responsibility for something you can control, but I'm trying it and having, fairly good success, so maybe everyone could try just a little bit of personal control. I know this is a dumb and stupid hill to die on. Just stupid. Uh I didn't know this person was a person, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, I just had never heard of him. I thought people were just typoing Coolio, but apparently there was a rapper named Foolio, and he was killed in a Tampa shooting. Um, possibly not the most, uh well, this guy is stable look. I don't know if it's just the photo, but Also, what is the thing that he tattooed on his neck? Because right now it's not looking great. Uh, Jacksonville, Florida rapper Fulio, whose real name is Charles Jones, was shot and killed Sunday morning in Tampa, his lawyer confirmed. Police were called to a hotel in uptown Tampa a few hours before sunrise, having received reports of a shooting at the address. Upon arriving at the scene, they found two vehicles that had been shot in a parking lot. One person, now identified as Jones, was pronounced dead, according to the Tampa Police Department. Three additional victims are in stable condition and being treated at the hospital. Police officers are still investigating the motive for the shooting and working to identify individuals involved. Jones was celebrating his birthday the night of the fatal shooting, according to footage he posted on Instagram story. The 26-year-old rapper, who had 1 million followers on the platform, shared a video advertising a pool party Saturday evening. He told his followers to direct message him for the address. Later that night, he posted that the police shut us down and kicked us out of our Airbnb. His lawyer, Luis Fusco, wrote in a statement that Jones then relocated to a Holiday Inn where he was reportedly ambushed in the parking lot. Quote, best birthday ever. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Appreciate everyone who pulled up. We turned up until we couldn't no more. Jones wrote in another Instagram story just hours before the shooting. We OTW to show y'all pull up. I don't understand exactly what all that means. In April, when announcing the release of his latest album, Resurrection, and your album is named Resurrection, it seems like this could be irony on a level of Alanis Morissette using the definition incorrectly to to make, a point in unfortunates. Jones posted he had already survived multiple attempts on his life. Jones, who had nearly 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify at the time of his shooting, has been making music since 2015. So, in all, joking aside, I feel terrible for his family, his parents, his, people that were surrounding him, his actual friends. Uh, this can't be an easy loss to happen on a birthday. So I do feel sorry about his, loss. Um, it's not a conspiracy. We simply learned from Canton PD and Delphi PD. He's a charismatic guy. Surveillance video of murder suspect's courthouse escape deleted in quote unquote conspiracy and cover up, the DA says. Well, I mean, how does one lose a convicted unaliver? A prosecutor in Mississippi said surveillance video of an accused murder suspect's escape from the courthouse was deleted from the server in his office in in an attempted conspiracy and cover-up. Joshua Zimmerman, 31, escaped on June 14th from the county courthouse in Hernando, Mississippi, officials said. He faces charges in the county of disorderly conduct, failing to obey, taking away a motor vehicle, attempt to commit murder, robbery with an armed weapon, possession of a weapon by a felon, and receiving stolen property, online jail records show. He is also wanted in Harris County, Texas, for a murder in 2023 death of Kiana Mercer, 23, in Houston. DeSoto County District Attorney Matthew Barton said in a news conference that some, quote, co-conspirators from an outside entity had called his office's IT department on Friday and directed they delete the video that captured every single angle of the courthouse of the escape. Quote, it didn't take us long to uncover a conspiracy to cover up and suppress certain evidence regarding the escape of Joshua Zimmerman, he said, adding a grand jury will investigate county court facilities to assess and inspect conditions regarding the safekeeping of inmates. He did not reveal who he believed was responsible for server deletion. I confronted the people that did it, he said. It was confirmed. I know which entities did it, and it was admitted to. I can't speak for what their motives are. All I know is there's evidence of a crime that I needed as part of my investigation to find out why a known murderer is walking through the same hallways as my staff and all the people that were in the public that day. Mercer was killed on September 2nd. Houston patrol officers responded to the report of a dead woman at a hotel on Hornwood Drive at about 8:45 p.m. Once there, officers found her dead from at least one gunshot wound. The room was rented to Zimmerman and Mercer, authorities said. Witnesses said they heard screaming coming from the room before hearing a gunshot, and Zimmerman was seen leaving the area. Days later, he was charged in the shooting and was arrested on September 29th by South Haven Police Department in Mississippi on separate charges. Last Friday, he managed to walk up a flight of stairs into an unsecured room and walked out of the courthouse in a khaki do-rag, khaki pants, white t-shirt, and jail-issued flip-flops with socks, the sheriff's office said in a news release. DeSoto County Sheriff Thomas E. Tuggle II said in a news conference that Zimmerman walked across the street and convinced an unwitting driver to give him a ride. He's a charismatic guy, Tuggle said. He asked his wife and said, "Hey, I just got in a fight with my wife. Can you give me a ride to Walmart?" When the man told him he was going to Memphis, Zimmerman, who has ties there, said, "Even better." Everything lined up for Zimmerman, but I promise you we're going to find him, the sheriff said. The U.S. Marshals are hunting for the 5'11", 210-pound man who is believed to have shaved his beard since the escape, the agency said in a news release. He also has ties to Waterbury, Connecticut. So, yikes. In our final story, you guys know, if you're a part of the deep lore of the channel, that Alex Trebek was my girlhood crush. Not because I wanted a 70-year-old man, but because he knew all the answers, and I very much am attracted to smart people. But it did horrify and scare my mother, which was an added bonus of sorts. For the answer, which former game show host from Canada is being honored with a forever stamp in the United States? Question: Alex Trebek. On Friday's episode of Jeopardy, the new host, Ken Jennings, announced that U.S. Postal Service will issue a forever stamp honoring the former host concurrent with the show's 60th Diamond celebration launched earlier this year. Pre-sales for the special stamp began Friday at USPS.com. Let's see here. The event occurred at Sony Pictures Studios in Culver City, California, with Jennings, Jean Trebek, who is his wife, who was his wife, and Michael Elston, Secretary of the Board of Governors of the USPS. Trebek, a nationalized U.S. citizen from Canada, died in 2020 after a 37-year run as the host of the syndicated show. A grid of 20 identical stamps resembles the array of video monitors that form the game board. On the stamp is written a prompt. This nationalized citizen hosted the quiz show Jeopardy for 27 seasons, and underneath, upside down, is the correct answer, who is Alex Trebek. On the stamp panel, relevant category headers appear at the top of each column of stamps. To the left is a photograph of Trebek with a portion of Jeopardy set behind him. Antonio Alcala, an art director for UPS, designed the stamps using photos provided by Sony Pictures Entertainment and hand lettering by Marty Davalia. Alex Trebek's stamp will be issued in panels of 20. Forever stamps will always equal in value the current first-class mail 1-ounce price. The cost of a stamp in July will raise by 5 cents to 73 cents. Customers may purchase stamps or other, packing products at the UPS store. So there you go. Oh, cool. I think it was DeSoto, Mississippi. I could be wrong. Anywho, you guys, that is the Mornings with Mo news. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I will be sending you off to Baker. I will be doing a couple things and joining him uh, for the defense's case in chief in the Karen Reed story. Well, trial, I guess. It's not a story. But I will be over there in a couple minutes. I'm going to set up my cross stitch, make sure the kids are doing their chores, things like that. Have a lovely day. And, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and maybe do one small thing that would change your life for the better. Not big steps, baby steps. Maybe that second Big Mac is not what you need today, and you're going to try some carrot sticks. Small baby steps. We can all get a little better. Bye, guys.